Hello and welcome to another update video on Bitcoin. We start here on the smaller time frame, bigger picture, nothing has changed. Bitcoin is moving in a tight range in a consolidation, so we want to rather focus on the smaller time frame just for the important information. If anything happens that's more significant, I will also zoom out later today, but for now we keep it simple here. Quick reminder that Bitcoin is moving here in a corrective pattern. Why corrective? How can I know? Well, it's this overlapping and slow price action, overlapping price action, three-wave movements, and therefore this is clearly some kind of a correction. So we know that. The market is also moving in a price channel. We now have enough data to add a price channel to the chart. The prices today reacted to the upper boundary of the price channel. Here at $100,460, that's also where the resistance level comes into play here, the 78.6 retracement. And by the way, this is not the larger price channel, which I showed you on the daily chart, for which you see here the upper boundary line coming in around 109K. No, this is a smaller time frame price channel. You see it. Some might call it a bull flag. So that means, in other words, with that scenario, I have absolutely no evidence that the price has formed a substantial top yet. We might be on our way into this Fibonacci support area here between $103,830 and $106,000. But as I said, the market is in a very, very corrective looking decline, which means it's a slow decline. It's not impulsive at all. However, if the white scenario is correct, then we might see, and it just shows the potential right now, right? It's not a prediction, it just shows the potential because we do have an A wave and a B wave and maybe a 1-2 setup to the downside. It could indicate that the third wave is next, which can take us first of all to the lower boundary line of the channel and then maybe even a little further before a 4 or 5 happens. Into the box, basically. So what I want to highlight is here a third wave down can take us down quite quickly into this zone between $103,833 and $106,075. This would be the next Fibonacci support zone. From here, the market might decide to give us one more upside extension, so that not the white or blue count produce substantial tops here, but rather we could get one more high before a more substantial price top forms. And that's because we're dealing with really corrective looking pullbacks, which could easily be a wave 4, but I explained that in yesterday's video in detail. Now, this means until we really get a signal that the bulls are trying to regain control, I'm going to watch for the potential that we're going to reach this support area before the next substantial upside, you could say, breakout attempt. We're not far away. I mean, maybe I should move it to the left a little bit. Hold on. But we're not far away because the support box starts at 106,075. But if this is really a fourth wave, then sometimes Bitcoin really just forms a very, very weak and shallow pullback. Bitcoin likes to do that in fourth wave. So we might get that one more low. So what I can tell you is we have not yet seen any real breakout attempt. Therefore, assumption is the correction is still unfolding because, look, the last rally here as well from yesterday's low was a 3-wave move. And that means the bears could still show up here and drive the price down lower. But whenever we're tracking a corrective price channel like that, in my view, it's even more important than the microstructures here because microstructures in corrections aren't so important. They are more, what is more important are the levels and support and resistance. And we are basically just moving here in a corrective range. So whether we get the third wave down now or maybe it's just moving sideways for a bit longer before we get the third wave down, it could, for example, extend the B wave. Not so important. What is important is, do we get a decisive upside breakout attempt? Because we have a corrective price channel. So any attempt to break out could indicate that the market tries a very direct move up towards 109K, the upper boundary line of the larger price channel. Definitely something to watch for on the weekend. So it means it's very clearly defined. We have initial resistance at the upper boundary line of the trend channel. And at the Fibonacci resistance zone, we have support at the lower boundary line of the price channel, currently coming in around 105.8k, and the Fibonacci support zone here. And the overall idea is that the market can attempt another rally, but we need some kind of a signal that would, for example, come with a break above the upper boundary line. But for now, the last rally was clearly corrective in nature. So I would need to see some evidence that the bulls are there, especially on a weekend. That means overall the structure hasn't changed and the potential for one more high remains in this structure. I would say best is to just pay attention to the well-defined parameters on the chart to get a good idea when the bulls are trying to make a comeback. Yeah, that's the update on Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, for those of you who don't know, we have a large Spanish-speaking community on this channel. I know there are a lot of Spanish-speaking viewers. So if you're interested in joining MCO, you might consider checking out our Spanish-speaking membership. We've got quite a few members in there now. The first 250 receive a very, very special price lifetime. You get all the benefits here, all the updates and much more, live chart links and chat room access, a knowledge base and much more. Check it out. I've linked it in the description in case you're interested. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.